Matt, normally on a Thursday when we do this interview, the first thing we talk about is just a reflective view on the previous Saturday's game, but no previous Saturday's game to talk about today, with the Harrogate game being called off. What were your views on that from a manager's point of view? Are you disappointed to lose the game, or in a way with the injuries at the moment, did it give you a little bit longer to get players fit?
No, I was disappointed to lose the game, to be honest, because of the decent run that we're on and the positive result against Horsham in the FA Cup, and to get back at home in front of our supporters leading into the busy period. We were chomping at the bit for a game, to be honest. But yeah, of course, we had injuries. We've got injuries. So it's maybe I can see why you asked me that question. Maybe give us another 7 days or another fixture later on when hopefully we've got a little bit of a healthier squad. But no, we were looking forward to the game, wanted the game, and looking forward to be playing back at home.
And with no midweek game as well, it's going to be 2 weeks between the Horsham game and this coming Saturday's game at Stockport. So presume that's been a chance for the players to get fit and to get some more good training sessions in.
Yeah, it has. That's certainly, I suppose, the positive of it is the sort of the extra training session or two we managed to get into the players without there being a game, and then give them some of the ones who were borderline and touch and go for the game or not quite ready to give themselves the best chance to hopefully be available for the weekend. And we've had a big long injury list, but hopefully they're slowly but surely coming back and starting to feature for us, which is going to be important going to this hectic Christmas period.
And what's the sort of routine when a game like gets called off on a Saturday morning like that? Do you get the players in for training in the afternoon, or do they get a day off and come back on Monday?
Well, we was actually trying to, but the where our training ground is, the 3G there was actually out of action, was being used and booked all day, so we couldn't get there. And then obviously with the amount of water and the rain that we had and how wet our pitch was, we actually couldn't get on our training pitches either. So it was a gym session for the players, but then back in on Monday morning ready to work hard, which they have done, and some really good sessions into them this week.
And then looking ahead, we come up to Saturday and an away game against Stockport, the current League Two leaders. One of those games that you look at the league table and then you look at current form of the two sides, and the two things are slightly different.
Yeah, it's still concentrating on ourselves and where we're at. We've had 2 good weeks training off the back of, as I said, a really good FA Cup result and the decent run that we've been on. And the change in performances and what we're trying to be looking for has been pleasing, and we want to build on that. But yeah, as you say, to go to a team who have just stuttered a little bit recently, but went on a really double figures long streak of League Two games of winning consistently. And I know and respect David hell of a lot. He's done a fantastic job there. And obviously came up against him previously when he was Hartlepool manager, and they've got a fantastic squad. So many good players. They'll be, of course, extremely disappointed with the FA Cup exit last night, but I'm sure they'll be wounded by that defeat and looking to try and bounce back on Saturday again against a team really strong at home and who are currently sitting top of the league. But with us, and I feel how tight the league is, that you have to earn every point. We do, and so does Stockport, and hopefully we can be a real test and a real challenge for them at the weekend.
And different sort of warm up to the game for both sides. Like I said earlier, we're a fortnight without a game. They've had to play an FA Cup replay on a Wednesday evening before the game. Which do you see any? I wouldn't say do you see any advantage in that? But do you think it makes much difference? They've had to play quite close to the Saturday.
No,
and had a disappointing result as well.
Yeah, of course it does, and would it help us if they had a positive result? And you can look at it in so many different ways. The bottom line is 22 players are going to kick off at 3 o'clock on Saturday, and I'm sure their crowd will be out in numbers and back behind them, and I'm sure there'll be a big crowd and a good atmosphere there. And yeah, the adrenaline will be pumping. There's a lot at stake for both teams, and no, I'm sure it'll be a really good, even competitive game, hopefully, and one we can really try and get the edge on and try and get a positive result, which has backed up some we've had recently.
And last year, of course, it was a slightly odd game because we played virtually the whole game with 10 players and ended up losing. So that in a way like to discard that for the sort of reasons of looking at this season's game, not really think about that one, and hope things go better this season.
Yeah, it was such a shame to lose Abigail after a minute or two or whatever it was of the the start of the game, which I still think was an extremely harsh sending off. But I remember obviously going there with no crowd in the National League season and having a fantastic 2-0 win. So yeah, I've enjoyed going there both times. It's a really good old traditional football ground. And as I said a minute ago, I'm sure it'll be a really good atmosphere. I'm sure we'll travel in numbers, and our away support has been excellent. And I'm sure the supporters with a 2-week gap will be really looking forward to getting behind us again in that away end, and we hope as many can travel up as possible.
And the beginning of a run of matches against sides in the sort of top 8 of the table. Most of them really sort of tough run of games, but one in the current form you'd be looking forward to.
Yeah. I've had conversations previously with people. I think tough run of games. I think you could pull out any 3, 4, 6, 8 next run. I think that they're all tough games, of course they are, but you can't really focus too much about the Christmas period and the next games. I've just got to try and get as many players back fit as possible, and pick the fittest and the best available team and squad for the next game, and prepare as best we possibly can to go and get that result, and then we'll dust ourselves down regardless of the scoreline. And what slightly changes now in this time of the year is how thick and fast they come, and the small amount of time in between the games. So we're focusing on the next game, so we can focus on, and that's certainly what we're doing, building up into Saturday.
You veer towards now what I was going to ask next, which on the playing front, how are the injuries looking after the 2-week break?
Yeah, they're getting there. There's quite a few who again, as I'm talking to you on a Thursday, we're seeing we'll train first before we travel up to Manchester tomorrow afternoon. So we'll be making some calls on quite a few players, to be honest, on just seeing exactly where they're at the last stage of the week, and picking that team Friday/Saturday to as I say, go and get that result. But yeah, they're certainly a little bit healthier than we were this time last week, that's for sure.
I was just going to say, without giving too much away, are you hopeful that some of the absent players will be able to play a part on Saturday?
Yeah, hopefully. Obviously, you didn't know my team or squad from last week, but I'm hoping 2 or 3 might be available from that as well.
And looking at the league table, we're at the bottom, Stockport at the top, but a wonderful challenge for the lads as well to sort of pick up what would be an eye-catching result to the rest of the league, and really set up the sort of Christmas period in the second half of the season in good shape.
Yeah, there's no doubt they're one of the top teams, and I'm sure that they're going to be right up there or thereabouts to be the winners of the league come the end of the season. But we've already gone and shown probably at the start of this run how competitive and strong and good we were when we went and played Wrexham, another top team and arguably the biggest budget and squad in the league, and for us to go and put a performance there and be deserved of at least a point, or a point, to be honest. I don't think we deserve to win the game, but to come away with a point was a really good performance for us. So, and then we've built on that as well. So can we go and put a similar sort of performance in, and hopefully come back with a point or points, which of course is going to be against one of the toughest teams away from home this season.
And just looking ahead, I know you say concentrating on Saturday's game, but at this stage of the season, is it difficult to work out a sort of training/playing schedule with the games coming so quickly over Christmas and New Year?
Not really, because you don't do much training. It's literally play, recover, and play again. So, yeah, of course, we've worked out our schedule, and we know where we're at, and where the lads are coming in, obviously, for the recovery. But there won't be too much training. It'll be mainly for the ones who might not have featured in the previous game, the substitutes, etc., who might be topping up with a little bit of work. But it'll mainly just be looking after the players, making sure they're recovering well between games, getting ready to go again for the next one.
Well, we look forward to seeing who's around on Saturday, Matt, and look forward to the game. We wish you well, and we'll see you up there on Saturday. Thanks very much for talking to us.
Excellent. Cheers, Tony. Thanks a lot.